All right, everybody, we back, we back, we back. It's your favorite channel, Pelican Bay Dog TV and News, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some brothers gonna like it, some ain't. Like I always say, y'all hit that like button up out there. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you best to come on and subscribe. Big salute to all my pet lovers across the world. Like I always say, everybody that's taking care of these animals across the globe, and all my folk down in the chat, and everybody that's watching this video right now. You know, we got a little bit of dog news, and we gonna break a video down and talk about it, you know, and analyze the dog that's on it, that they calling a pit bull. We gonna talk about that. And but first, you know, I wanna talk to all my dog brothers, sisters, my people out there, you know, that rock with the Bay. Like I said, man, y'all hit that like button up. Come on up in here. We got some dog talk, like I said, to talk about. And we're going to see how keen brothers' eyes is when we show this news a little bit later. Because I need y'all eyes to look at this dog, and we're going to analyze it, like I said. But appreciate everybody for rocking with me today, man. Let's just get into it. I want to speak first about how YouTube helped rehabilitate myself, how I use YouTube to help rehabilitate myself. And I really didn't know it at first, you know, and I'm just going to be all the way honest with you, and maybe it can help some people, you know, listen to what you may be going to get on YouTube, you know, you may be thinking about starting a social media platform. But let me just tell you how YouTube helped me rehabilitate myself from all illegal activities when it comes to these dogs. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to start from, you know, the story like, okay, boom, I got in my little trouble. Okay, I wasn't on YouTube then. I was on Facebook doing my dog training stuff. You know, and big salute to my folk out there. You know, he told me a long time ago, he said, and this is on Facebook, he's like, man, you start your YouTube channel up. I ain't never, you know, I wasn't even on YouTube. I was just posting videos on Facebook. And he was telling me then that my Facebook videos should have been, you know, getting more likes and different things than that then, you know. So I went to YouTube and I, you know, went over there or went over here rather, and it was still the training. I was giving the training videos and things, you know. And then something came to my head to do the dog talk rather, you know. So I started doing the Yellow versus Jeep, the Eli versus this dog, or Mayday versus this dog. I started doing them like that. And for the most part, at that time, you know, you had, I think, Buck City Kennels was already out. 7-8 was doing his thing. Thompson was doing his thing. There's several people already doing their thing. Nanny Dog was doing his thing. You know, so I started doing my little dog stories or whatever. And, you know, it started like that. But the thing and the point I want to make is, you know, I didn't start the dog channel to end up where it's at now. You know, it's like I jumped on a wave and I had to ride with it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm going to explain to you how it helped rehabilitate myself totally from the dog thing. You know, even after my trouble, you know, I said, I wasn't going to do anything. But still yet, I didn't know the game the way I know the game today. You see, the news helped me just as much as it helped a lot of other brothers and sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing this stuff just as well as you seeing it. I'm not getting it, oh, I got it stashed somewhere in a magazine, I'm just putting it out, I already know about it, and I'm just letting y'all see it now. No, I'm seeing this stuff real time, just like y'all seeing it. You know, so the news wasn't even started. I don't know what. I know what it was. You know, like I always say, I want brothers to see that the crack and the dogs didn't mix. So I jumped on somebody who got busted or something during that time, and I posted that video, you know, to try to explain that, you know, for the most part, this street life and these dogs don't mix when it comes to the law enforcement and locking you up, you know. So I did one, and, you know, it seemed like, you know, yeah, we may be on to something right here, you know. So as I'm doing the news and I'm talking all this dog stuff, and at the same time, I'm giving y'all old stories. You see, the old stories and all that stuff, you know, is what helped rehabilitate me. Because there's no way in hell I can get on a social media platform or TV or anything, and talk about this stuff like this and continue to live like this. You know what I'm saying? Only if I don't got common sense. So the more and more I gave the news, and the more and more, not even the news what made me smarter. But the more and more I gave my old dog stories, the stuff that I did in the 90s, and mistakes that I made, the more I had to fly the straight path. You know what I'm saying? You can't play both sides of that fence, like I always say, and it goes for me too as well. You know, um, and like I said, I say this to all brothers that be on YouTube and you think you're not popular, or you think somebody not watching you, and then you still try to go around here and do all this stuff, that you used to do. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't underestimate your popularity, just because you got a little bit of subscribers, to everybody. If you don't got millions and millions and millions of subscribers, to everybody, the next YouTuber got a little bit of subscribers. What we might call 2,000 and 3,000 a little bit, somebody else calling 20 and 30,000 a little bit. Then you got other folk who calling 60 and 70,000 a little bit. So, never underestimate that, man. And that's what I had to learn in this dog thing as far as YouTube wise, because it gives you a sense of paranoia. When you get up here and you speak like that, and then you say, if you go out and try to live like that, man, I mean, everybody don't think the same. Everybody don't think the same, but I'm going to say, when I was making illegal moves back in my days, I try to make them where I didn't get myself involved with anything. You know what I'm saying? No kind of trouble or nothing. Move correctly is what I was trying to do. So doing the news and doing these, like I say, the dog talk, it's like when you get paranoid, and it's like, there's no need to be paranoid. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. You can't be out here false flagging. Like I always say, the first thing, and this is minor to me, what I'm about to say. First thing half these YouTubers looking for is for me to go out there and do something dumb like that and get in trouble. So I'm thinking about all this, at the same time. And the thing about it, man, there is no lingo that the law enforcement don't know. That's why I say, when brothers say hog hunting, you gotta really mean hog hunting. Them folk know that that's the lingo. They know that's the lingo, man. So when we get up here, and I'm not speaking about nobody, but when we get up here and we say this or that or this or that, you gotta understand, like I always say, it ain't what you do, is how you do it. So at the end of the day, if I'm not advertising or promoting anything to do illegal, I'm giving you my stories, my experiences, hoping that you see that in my heart, I felt like I reached a certain plateau that I was comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can say, it's over, you can say it's over. That don't mean you got to get rid of your dogs. It means you got to live a different kind of life with your dogs. That's all it means, and that's why I stand on, and that's why I'm going to keep standing on this. Barrels don't mean dog fighting. Circles around your dog don't mean dog fighting. Dog fighting means dog fighting. We're not going to, like I said before, we're not going to push no false narrative. And that's what the news helped me learn in this dog game, and helped me to rehabilitate myself. You got to be smart. You can't outsmart them folk when it comes to this trying to do something illegal. You making outsmart them today. You making outsmart them tomorrow. Put them 9 times out of 10, they 4 or 5 steps ahead of you. You just ain't caught up to where they at yet. Not they ain't caught up with you. You just ain't caught up with where they at. And so I look at all that, man. Like I always say, I got too much to lose. I got too much that I work hard for. You know what I'm saying? I can easily just have my dogs. Don't worry about none of y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy a dog, you can buy a dog. Don't give no news. Forget the dog stories. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, anybody who been through that type of situation, like I always say, you should have some type of, if you like to breed the way you say you like to breed, you should have some type of heart to try to influence some of these brothers to think before they move, to think wisely, to make the correct moves in the game. You know what I'm saying? Take 2 or 3 breaths before you take that step. Make sure you're doing it the right way. You know, and like I said, man, the more and more I did, the more and more I seen that I can't live like that. You know what I'm saying? No matter if I wanted to go out there and play, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? For one, I drew too many enemies or social media enemies on social media for me to get out there and do that stuff. I'll be stupid. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to do it, it'd be stupid for me to do it. I can't, when I say paranoid, I wouldn't trust to be around a square with nobody. Nobody, because of the stuff that goes down on social media. So, being I know that's my work. Social media is my work. Don't even indulge in that type of stuff. Don't put myself in a situation to get in trouble on that level. You know what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes daily. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? It don't necessarily have something to do with the dogs, but nobody's perfect, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, plenty brothers and sisters across this globe got things to lose, man. They done work hard to build up what they trying to build up, and like I said, you get tired of hearing it too. You going to sleep, you dreaming about it. No sale, no purchase, no buy, no own. No sale, no purchase, no buy, no own. No, let me see. Purchase and buy the same thing. No sale, no own, no buy, no transport. That's what it was. Transport. You'll be dreaming about that, man. And that's all it is to it. If you keep that in mind, if you keep no buy, no sale, no transport, and no own in mind, then it makes you have to check everybody that you dealing with these dogs. You got to make sure they're the right kind of folk that you want to have with your dogs, because you don't want to sell to the wrong. You don't want to transport to the wrong. You don't want to buy something from the wrong, and now they know you are thinking you own something for this. So that's how YouTube helped rehabilitate me, man. It lets me know I can't do what I used to do. And because I still have dogs, there's no way, in hell I can get up here and tell you an old story without giving you the modern day happenings. So that's how it's going, That's how, and like I said, all this new stuff that I'm seeing, we seeing all at the same time, man, this shit is deep, man. This shit deep, and this shit it is only gonna get worse because the technology only gonna get better, and brothers only gonna involve themselves with more things to bring all that trouble to the dog game. The further you go into the future, it feel a whole lot better to be able to walk out with your dog, be able to chill with your dog, meet great dog men, do great out here with these shows, you know what I'm saying? It just feel better, man, when you're doing the right things with your dogs. And then you got you got a foot to stand on when it comes to, I ain't doing that with my stuff, man. See, you gotta learn from your mistakes. I learned from mine. I didn't when they took my dogs the last time. My dogs didn't have dog fighting scars on them. Neither was they skinny. I had one pregnant one that dropped puppies 2 or 3 days after she got in the dog pound. They put it up on the front page as well with the puppies I showed y'all. Then I had made a breeding earlier that morning. So both dogs were potential. One would have puppies and the other was potentially pregnant. So they was big dogs. But because I had drugs, it put me in a whole different, it made them look at it different, or it made a whole different situation come apart, and that's what I came in preaching on. And at the end of the day, it got deep, man. It got deep, and I'm already in it. You know what I'm saying? I can't back out of it now, and at the end of the day, I know what I'm speaking about is right. I know I'm trying to do the right things. So, I'm not gonna back down. If I stop the channel, it's because I want to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, a lot of times we talk about a lot of things that don't really help a brother in modern day times, whether it's with the dogs or whether it's with the news or whether it's with any kind of information. But like I said, man, at the end of the day, the legal is what's gonna be here the longest. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff, you can say, oh, this dog ain't this or this dog ain't that or these dogs ain't been touched or these. Listen here, man, the legal gonna continue to be here. And then while y'all talking all that trash, you be talking trash dogless. You won't have your dogs with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. Everybody don't have to go through the situation. Like I always say, listen, man, 10 years ago, them dog brothers that was watching YouTube and things, they weren't blessed to have brothers like Going Hard that done been through their situations. Fat Bill that done been through his, me that done been through mine, Garcia that done been through his. Everybody who been through their situations, brothers wasn't blessed to have these brothers to tell you one little bit of this or one little bit of that, add it all together to make your thing right. You know, brothers look at a lot of this stuff that we talk about as entertainment and going one end out the other sometimes, and some of that stuff is made to stick to you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, it's you like money. We all like money or whatever. Not going to jail is saving you money. It's making money. You know what I'm saying? Doing the right things is making money. Putting yourself at risk is too many. Like I said, man, and I'm gonna use my ladies for example. Not all of them, just some of them. Across this country, these ladies that show up at these boxes, at these dog fights, these women that's coming with their men in all 50-some states, they're not going to lose their kids about these dogs. When them folk catch them, when they come, they're not going to lose nothing about these dogs. See, that's what I don't mind saying. I'm done. I can call anybody that know me from back in the days with them pits, anybody, and I ask them, bro, do I got something to prove? Do I got to prove something modern day time when it comes to these dogs? Only thing I got to prove and show is that I can do the right things with these dogs. That's something we all got to prove as long as we have these dogs, that you can take care of them and do the right things with them. All that other stuff, man, it just was what it was. And I advise any brother, to pay attention to what you're doing, man. Pay attention and don't get gassed up off that BS out here. You know what I'm saying? We know what these dogs were made for. It's plenty of events. You can literally go real hog hunting. Everybody's not around areas where they can go hog hunting. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find events that you can compete in or things that you can do. Even if you don't compete in no events, I'm just trying to say stuff and use things that can quench your thirst. As long as you take care of them and you leave them how you leave them, you don't got to compete in the events and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, most brothers with these dogs, a lot of brothers, they're competitive. So if you still want to compete, you got to do it on the legal end. And like I said, all the trash talking, all the old stories, all that stuff, let me know years ago that I cannot, will not be caught beside no box, beside no square, doing anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? And that's, like I said, that's how YouTube helped rehabilitate me all the way through. It's no going back from that. And I tell any brother that once you start getting into that people households and on TV and YouTube or whatever you want, it's different. You got to be able to take it like that. You can't get up here talking one thing because you want to make a channel and then you still got your feet getting your feet dirty. You got to expect that. What's going to happen behind that? And it just is what it is, man. Real bulldoggers gonna keep bulldogging, and the ones who can't, keep up, or the ones who can't adjust to the situation, they just gonna fall back. Simple as that, man. Still got them yellow John dogs. Still got them heavy Chavis Jocko dogs. Jocko and yellow John. No cut. I could put a cut. It's time for a good cut. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really consider, like I said before, I don't really consider the Mayday stuff really a cut. I consider like Jeep a cut, Eli a cut. You know, Bolio can be a cut, or the Buck stuff can be a cut without the red boy, Jocko in it. And Mayday is still a little cut. Mayday is still a little cut because you got the Bolio stuff in it, but I don't really consider that a real cut. That's like a line breeding almost, what I would consider it. But waiting on a good cut. What I'm looking forward to as well is me a good, well-structured Eli dog. Good size on it, good legs on it. Like I said, good structure as far as the front to rear. No short on the front end, long in the. Like I want a straight, good structure Eli dog. All Eli, all Eli. Maybe a little something else in it, but pretty much all Eli. And it could be a buck dog too, because I've been looking at some of them buck dogs. That's something I've been thinking about adding, but it got to be a pure buck. Coming not off the macho. Macho buck is a great dog, and he throw great structure dogs. But I'm talking about off the buck stuff, just the STP buck without having the macho buck and stuff in it. Maybe coming down off some of the Gaston stuff with good structure, or like I said, just some of the buck stuff. But I think that some of that Eli make a good fruit punch, And like I said, man, I think if the brothers doing the YouTube stuff, we all got room to grow when it comes to the dog stuff and the dog talk or whatever, however we do it, But for the most part, you got to understand certain things you're going to lose when you come up here, putting yourself mainstream, And as long as you understand that, you be all right. I'm not going to call any particular dog people name out, but if folk don't understand it. And then when things happen, you wonder why you get criticized. It's not like, you had some dirty water, or your house was messed up, or you was caught in the wrong situation where you weren't supposed to be in that type of situation because you already made yourself a household name. So like I said, man, YouTube helped me rehabilitate myself completely on that. And that's just all it is to it. Now, what we're going to do, man, we're going to get to a Santa Monica pit bull attack. Well, pit bull attack a toy poodle. And the guy, I'm going to let y'all watch the video. We got it all on video, and we got it from different angles. And what I want to do is, they call it a pit bull, and it looks like some type of bull breed dog, pit bull maybe. But what I want y'all to do is really look at this dog frame. Look at the dog frame, his body. Now, the woman said when you watch the video, she said the man reacted a little too slow. I think he reacted a little too slow too as well if your dog attacking a small dog such as a poodle. Now, I will say this. I always say it's easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get in trouble. To get you out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. Don't try to get out. When it comes to them dogs like poodles, Shih Tzus, stuff like that, when a pit bull grabs one of them dogs, you're not going to get that dog loose. I'm going to tell you now, it's a slim chance to none that you going to break a pit bull off a dog like that. I already told you adrenaline pumping when something like that happens. That dog is too small. It's a different kind of, it's different. So the easiest thing to do is when you see people with them kind of dogs, to go ahead and take precaution. Make sure you got your dog in a secure area where you can walk past securely without bothering them. But what I want you to do is look at this, because the guy, after the attack happened, the guy broke off running and he ran down the street with his dog. And they looking for the man right now. I may have an update on it sooner or later where they caught him or something, but looking for him right now, man. So I want y'all to check this video out And I want you to look at this dog and see if this is a pit bull, a bully. I looked at it from a couple angles, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, it almost looked like a spaded. I can't really tell what it is. It's kind of too big to be a real pit bull, you know. But the way the body, the head ratio is, it almost reminds me of a spaded dog, you know. But let's watch this video, man, and we're gonna talk about it when we're done.
Police now looking for the owner of a pit bull who brutally attacked and killed a small poodle in Santa Monica. And tonight we're hearing from the poodle's owners after their beloved Dublin was taken from them.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam is live with the details. Tim.
Yeah, guys, the couple was just walking home when they say that their poodle was fatally attacked by a pit bull. Now, we want to warn you, this video is not graphic, but the sounds, the screams may be difficult for some of you to hear.
A Ring camera capturing the sound of frantic cries. The screams you hear behind this white car is from Alyssa watching Dublin, her toy poodle being savagely attacked.
A pit bull lunged at our dog, picked him up off the ground, and sunk his teeth into him in an extremely violent way. The other dog owner was slow to act, was not paying attention.
Alyssa says her boyfriend Christopher tried to rescue Dublin and was also bit. The horrific scene playing out in Santa Monica Friday evening near Main and Strand. After the attack, the man with the pit bull seen on this security video dashing, along with his pit bull, who appears to be leashed.
It was pretty cowardly to run away like that.
Meantime, a neighbor rushing the couple to a pet hospital while the 11-year-old pooch was bleeding.
It's gonna be okay, buddy. It's gonna be okay. And I knew he was gone in my arms. Just like how when I first picked him up, he sat in my arms and snuggled just like a baby, and he died just like my baby.
Santa Monica police want you to take a good look at this video, hoping you can identify the pit bull's owner. They say the public's safety is at risk.
I think I'd really like him to just take some ownership right now. We want to know, we want somebody to look in our eyes and say, I messed up. That's what we're looking for right now. It's not going to bring our Bubba back, but that's what we're looking for.
Alyssa and Christopher are posting flyers like this one around their Ocean Park neighborhood. Memories of taking Dublin on walks now scarred by tragedy. A precious member of their family gone forever.
He loved to prance and he loved to snuggle, and he was totally a people person.
This is so heartbreaking. Santa Monica Animal Control is also investigating. People can share any tips or video with police.
Now let's go back and slow this thing down. I want y'all to take a real good look at this dog. Like I said, and it really don't matter what kind of dog it is, but at the same time it does to us pit bull owners, because we tired of taking the bad rap for dogs that's not the real American pit bull terrier, you know. But look at this dog, man. Like I said, I'm gonna slow it down so y'all can see it real good. You know, what kind of dog do y'all think this is? And then it goes back to what I said a couple videos ago. Breaking sticks need to be mandatory when you have these bull breed dogs. That is not dog fighting paraphernalia. It needs to be mandatory, especially when brothers and sisters walking. You know, I'm thinking about taking a walk right now to one of the parks, but I need to have a breaking stick in my pocket when I go, because the simple fact, these brothers and sisters, they have the dogs running loose, and I have been bullied at a dog park before. You know, I've been bullied, and people got an aggressive dog, and I can't come in the park because their dog is barking. My dog, I got Marino. I know for a fact Marino gonna put toes down on that dog. But I'm trying to prevent something, and I'm looking at the woman look at me like I'm not supposed to be here. You know, so a breaking stick is mandatory, but look at this dog. back to that dog talk, when it comes to these dogs, man, you got to understand, there is no codes. You either got to be able to tell your old story or don't talk about this modern day stuff in no codes. These brothers know all the codes there is to know. All these busts have been happening over the past 10, 15 years. You don't think they know every single code, a lingo, all this dog talk lingo that we trying to say this and mean that? They know it all. So if you're going to get up here on YouTube and talk about something, you got to talk about stuff that happened back in the days. And if you made changes today is the only way you could talk about it then. You got to, because you can't promote for dog fighting. There's no way you can talk about the old stuff without letting these brothers know what it is, man. Modern day time. So brothers got to understand, man. You ain't talking in no lingo. You ain't talking in no codes. It ain't, you either did it or you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why if I'm talking about fight, I fought them. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't doing that now. If I'm going hunting now, when I say hunting, I need for anybody that watching my video to understand I'm talking about going in the woods and actually hunting a hog. That's why I told another dog brother, you out here getting in trouble, but you're using hog hunting, but you're getting in trouble. And now these folk, not saying they been thought that before your situation. But that don't make it no better when you got a platform using hog hunting and you out here getting in trouble. So they know, hog hunting means this. They try to say hog hunting. All the news articles be saying the same thing. They say hog hunting for fighting. Another word for fighting. But yet brothers still use hog hunting. If you gotta use hog hunting, that means you're not supposed to be talking about it. Big dogs. If you're using hog hunting, that means you need to be doing it. That's what make the breed look bad as well. All this lingo and nobody doing nothing with it. I'm not telling you Melly Yellow out there hog hunting, or Melly Yellow hog hunting, so I don't have to show you her hog hunting. But if you're talking about hog hunting and you ain't doing no hog hunting, you just making the breed look bad because they think a certain thing, when it comes to this lingo. This is not the era to try to fool them. This is the era to show these brothers is doing the right things. You either doing it or you ain't. A lot of people don't see that. The faking ain't gonna work. Keep your ass far away from television. If you ain't got your shit together. I mean, hey, everybody see it different, man. Big salute to the brothers and sisters down in the chat. All my people that's rocking with me, like I always say. You know what I'm saying? Everybody look at things different, man. Some people I know people that just been going to jail my whole life. Ever since school, they've been going to jail, still going to jail. Go in for 5, come out for 6 months. Go in for 10 years, come out for a couple more months. Go in for 5 more years, come out for a couple more months. Go in for 2 years. My whole life, I know folk like that, man. And you you got folk like that with these dogs. They just don't care what's going on. And at the end of the day, my brothers who trying to do the right stuff, especially the ones on these social media platforms, you got to make sure these brothers ain't trying to, the ones who are living like that, the ones who don't care about getting in trouble, the ones who, they'll get you in trouble as well. They don't care about bringing the heat. They don't care about what they say or what they do because they don't care, and we can't have them kind of folk around us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got to have folk around us that got something to lose. Ain't playing them kind of games. Too much to lose. And if you ain't got common sense to see how wicked it is out here, I don't gotta say it. just the news articles alone let you see what's going on. You know, we don't even have time to argue about the pit bulls getting a bad name for us attacking dogs and people in the street. Them aren't pit bulls. We still over here trying to fight a battle, you know, with the game dogs, as far as the drugs and all that stuff. You know, and I tell you what though, it's easier for me to get through. Now that if I sit back and look at it, you know, it may be easier for me to get through to some of them tree huggers to let them see what a real game dog not doing all this stuff. They need to classify these dogs and let them stay classified as a pit bull is a pit bull. A pit bull is not a blanket term. Until they make a pit bull and not a blanket term, it's going to always be like that. Oh, a pit bull type dog bit these people. That is not a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? We done had 300 pit bull attacks, and out of all them 300 dogs, only 2 of them was real game dogs. You know, like I always say, even the brother over there in California that got mauled by his own dogs, they used the pit bulls to make us look bad with these dogs, and them dogs probably didn't have 10% of pit bull in them. You know, ears clipped, box face, bulky looking dog is a pit bull. And it shouldn't be like that. Like I always say, a dog with the ears standing up and they look like a shepherd don't mean they're a shepherd. You know, don't mean it's a Malinois, don't mean it's a Dutch shepherd. You know, it can be different things. But when it comes to the pit bull, we got to take the blame for all that stuff. And we trying to fight that battle and this battle with these can't teach stupid brothers. But like I said, man, I just give the news, you know, just lay it out for you. You know, like I said, man, if you have any topics you want me to hit on, drop down in my messages, hit me up, let me know what you want to talk about. You know, I talk about bloodlines and all that stuff too, man. You know, but it ain't nothing that's on my mind daily. You know what I'm saying? I see the real stuff, what's going on out here with these dogs daily. You know, that I can go to studying for a bloodline to give y'all a pedigree about this, and then all of a sudden this jump off. You know, and I put them on the scale the way which one more important to give you. This one or this one. You know, so, you know, that's how my shit be going down. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm really waiting on a little of anime to come, because I've been having some ideas as well. You know, when that little come off anime with my Malinois, you know, if you want to get one trained, you can pay me right then. Once you buy your puppy, you can pay me right then, and you can pick that dog up at I'm going to say 4 months old. You pick the dog up at 4 months old, and I'm going to do my thing with him up until that point. But you're going to pay for it. You know, and that way, everything will be on me as far as raising the puppy up, making sure he's socialized and imprinted the right way for the training that I'm going to be giving him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that you're not going to do it, but it's just easier. You don't have to take them and then send them back and all that. So I'm going to do that with a couple puppies, at least off anime litter. You know, and I'm waiting on it because I'm going to get one, and I'm going to freak it all the way out. I'm going to get one out. It's going to be a male, you know, off that litter, and I'm going to freak it all the way out. You know, and at the same time, I'll be doing other people's stuff, you know. And one good thing about that, you know, I can do those dogs at the same time. I don't literally mean the dogs out there at the same time, but they can be together and they can be getting trained, you know, throughout the day, and I don't really have to do a whole lot of separation. I can take them out there together, you know, to get their play and get their run and chase after balls and all that stuff, and then bring them back out to do their training on the solo. You know, it's a whole lot easier like that, and I can give you a great dog like that. You know, you just got to be willing to pay for it. And anybody who know about these Malinois or any type of dog like that, those dogs cost straight out the belly. You know what I'm saying? So when you come and you want that type of training, you know, just, you know, be ready to kick out for what you want. You know, you pay for what you get. You know, and when it comes to that training, man, you know, I don't know how the next brother move, you know, but I guess, you know, I want my payment up front. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I done been through certain situations, and I'm not talking about no particular person. Been through certain situations. After you've been through in this thing for a while, you go through situations. You know, I can leave you with you can be owing me, you know, half the deposit, half of what, you know, what the training is left, and then it comes down to it, you got to pay your rent and your car payment or something whenever the training is over. You can't do it, and I understand all that, you know. So to keep, you know, make sure I'm good, I have to get me up front, you know. And this the thing, you know, I done tried to start the training and don't take no payments. You know what I'm saying? I done tried it like that before. But this the thing about that, you know, when you go out and you training and you sweating and you getting, you know, you working hard, you know, you know, even though you may be getting your money on the back end, you go through a lot of stuff with that training, man. More than what a video can show you. Any dog trainer, a video can't show you the stuff that they go through to get them dogs the way they get them. You know, and a lot of times, brothers undervalue the training. Like, brothers really undervalue obedience training. You know, they willing to pay for the protection, but, you know, because they know it takes what it takes. But obedience, a lot of brothers undervalue it, you know, and it takes patience, it takes repetition, and it takes time, man, to get these dogs the way a lot of brothers want them. You know, we look at a lot of these dogs that do tricks, and we look at them after they already trained, you know, and we make judgments, and we want our dog trained like that. But you don't know that's $20,000 worth of training that's in that dog at that point. You know what I'm saying? You know, your basics start off at certain levels. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, man. Like I said, I'm waiting on Anime to drop because I'm ready. You know, I'm not doing no more training to Anime Puppy drop. I'm talking about as far as my dogs. You know, other than Mellow Yellow, she already got it in her. But when Anime drop her litter, I'm going to get a male and I'm going to go in with that one. And I'm going to take him to a level I haven't even took Marino to, you know, as far as the tricks and stuff. Because we got let me speak about this as well. We got a dock diving and that type of event going on in our town now that been going on for a couple years now. So Anime Next Litter, I'm going to get me a dog that's going to compete in that as well. You know, they do quite a few events down there. Now, I will say, you know, a lot of people that got some of the dogs off Fletcher and Mellow Yellow from me, what I will say, they have said that they are real smart dogs. And what I noticed, you know, I'm not sure about y'all dogs, fellas, but what I noticed, you know, from Mellow Yellow to Fletcher, you know, smart. They smart dogs. They are smart. I see it, you know, how fast Mellow Yellow pick up certain things when she was around Marino. You know, and I wanted to speak on that as well, because the brother was asking me, you know, about Mellow Yellow being human aggressive. And the thing is, she's not naturally human aggressive. She, like we talking about the smartness. She was started off in the house for first, you know, month or so. Then I put her outside, and she was around Marino, you know. And Marino, you know how he was barking. He'll bark how the Malawites get. They're barking anything moving, you know. So she picking up from him. That's why I always get up here and say, be careful how you have your pits and your Malawites around each other, because the pits, you don't want the pits to pick up the Malawi traits. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You know, she picked up that trait, and then me having her around me so much, you know, she want to protect me, you know. So Fletcher is like your human friendly dog, you know, and Mellow Yellow is more protective because she been around me like that. And that's what I noticed too. A lot of the brothers who have the dogs, who they have that one particular dog around them, they build up that protection zone. You know what I'm saying? They're not biters, you know, but when it's just like a Malinois, just like any of them type of dogs. When you have a dog and you deal with them yourself and say nobody's not petting them, you're not saying, oh, I'm trying to make this dog mean. It just happened by default. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's not petting the dog, you know, not on a regular. You know, so the dog builds up like I said, a protection zone for the owner. You know, and that's all she does, or did rather, or do rather. You know, and Fletcher didn't, you know, pick that up because I wasn't around him like that. I have him on, you know, in his cage, and then I'll take him out for his walks and stuff like that. But as far as training and all that type of stuff, I actually put the training time in with Mellow Yellow. Y'all seen the videos when I started when she was 3 and 4 months old, training, doing this, doing that. You know, so all that bond, so she feel like she only doing right. You know what I'm saying? When Meliola was like 2, 3 months old, I'll be in the chair. She'll come jump up in the chair and try to sit right beside me and look at TV. You know, so them dogs build up bonds and they feel like they're doing right, you know, by protecting you. So, you know, with the brothers telling me they smart and I'm seeing that mine is picking up fast on different things, you know, it lets me, like I see, if I wanted to compete in the weight training, the weight pulling, I could because they got enough drive, you know, prey drive, you know, to pull. If I wanted to do the treadmill and all that, I could because, you know, they athletic and they, you know, will run on the mill and all that. And like I said, they prey drive. I could put something in front of them, they're going to run on it. Running up the wall, I could do the same thing. You know, it's good to have smart dogs, man. And only way you can really tell, you know, a lot of dogs are smarter than we give credit for because we don't really be around a dog like that, you know, so we don't really know. We just, oh, this is a pit bull or whatever. But a lot of dogs are smarter than we give credit for, man. And when we start dealing with them, especially when they're young, we be like, oh, man, that dog's smart. Look what he's doing. You know, yeah, he's smart, man. You just don't pay attention to your dogs like that. You know, and it's not no, like I said, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just have a lot of dogs and you can't just give all of them your attention, you know. But for the most part, man, yeah. So I know, you know, when I make breedings in the future, as far as going outs and stuff, I know what I bring to the table and I know what I, you know, want to add to it. Now, I do want to address this one thing as well. You know, one brother was speaking about, and he made a good comment. He said the journal was supposed to be secretive back in the days when I was saying about the game being sold, not told. He said the journal was supposed to be secretive, you know, and I agree that with that statement that you made, brother. Salute to you. But the thing is, truthfully, in reality, could any magazine be secretive that you putting out, even though you got subscribers that, you know, buying the magazine that's not people in the mainstream out here? How secretive could you have really thought it was going to be eventually? You know, the secretive that they thought it was people that not in the Bulldogs, they're not going to really pay it no attention. And the people that's dealing with it, the only ones going to have it is the people that's actually at the shows. But then they got nephews, they got cousins, they got friends, and all these people take these journals different places, collect them, do different things with them. Some people took them to school, you know. So at different times, you know, all your secrets is coming out to the light. So, you know, that's why I say, man, and I'm not trying to put no blame on no particular person. We just talking about when was the game to be sold, not told, started. What year did that start? Must be started when Kobe and Mr. Kobe and them boys was importing it, you know. But yeah, man, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there, man. Make sure y'all do the right things with these dogs. And PBK9s, we out.
Pitbull Encyclopedia is the ultimate guide for anyone who loves, owns, or wants to learn more about one of the world's most misunderstood dog breeds. Packed with expert insights, breed history, training tips, health advice, and heartwarming stories, this comprehensive book breaks down the myths and highlights the true nature of pit bulls: loyal, intelligent, and loving companions. Whether you're a first-time owner, a seasoned pit bull enthusiast, or an advocate for the breed, the Pitbull Encyclopedia is your go-to resource for understanding and celebrating these incredible dogs.